right, guys. Well, here we go. The game is counting down. Let's make some noise for our two players here, aLive and NesTea, going into Game 2 right now.
Oh, guys, that wasn't good enough. Let's do that again. Make some noise for aLive and NesTea Game 2.
There it is.
There it is. We might have to do this one more time, man.
No. They've got to save themselves for later. They've got 3 days of this.
No, we gotta do the players, man.
Of course. Take it away, HD.
All right, guys. On the right-hand side of the map, we do have Fanatics aLive. And on the left-hand side of Sandstorm Mists, we have the winner from the previous set, creator of the universe, I am NesTea.
Yes, the god of Zerg certainly looking on form right now. That first game was just picture perfect from NesTea. Beautiful hold at his third, knew exactly when to pull the drones, and I don't think that he could have held that without pulling the drones and taking those losses right there.
But it's really shocking to me that he was able to come back after taking that deficit, because at one point he was down to the Terran by about 20, maybe 30 supply. It was like 120 to 90. And in my head, I'm saying, oh god, it's over. NesTea can't come back from this. And then boom, he did. So it just shows that at the high level of play, man, you never can count a player out. Especially not NesTea.
No, certainly not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we do have a, not proxy Rax, but a Rax going down at the natural here from aLive. So all this really signifies is that aLive could apply some early pressure here. He might actually go for a 2 Rax, which is something we haven't seen in quite some time. But keep in mind, guys, this is an eco 2 Rax. He dropped his Raxes on 12 and 14, so he's not looking to end the game outright here. He's just looking to do a lot of damage, but it's going to come a little bit later than, per se, a cheesy 2 Rax on 11-11.
Well, it looks like this drone here trying to do some damage against the SCV building, that second barracks, but a third SCV was called from home to deflect that away. Back at home, we do have a spawning pool coming up from NesTea, and that is following the hatchery. So he did hatch first, and you can defend the 2 Rax, whether it be the Eco 2 Rax, as you just mentioned, or even the double 11 Rax. It is defendable. Of course, the Eco one's much easier to defend.
Yeah, it is certainly defendable, but it throws the Zerg player into kind of a frustrating situation.
A whole world of chaos.
Yeah, a whole world of chaos. He's going to have to be making lings when he wants to make drones. Exactly. He might have to pull drones from the main to hold it off.
Not only that, but the mining time lost. I've seen some players, they try to just, be as efficient as possible, pull 3 or 4 to ward off the bunker harass. And then I've seen some players pull almost all their drones and say, you know what, screw it, I'm not even going to take a risk, I'll take the mining time hit, and I'll make sure that I kill off this bunker. And it looks like right now NesTea's just going to stick with 4. We'll see if he pulls 4.
Well, it really is a tightrope act. It's a tightrope walk. You need to bring just enough drones to deal with the bunker rush, but you certainly don't want to lose. And here we go, the first Marine and SCVs making their way in. Drones pulled off the line, unable to get to the Marine, but he does have 4 lings, the spine crawler going up, and all those drones at the natural.
Yeah, I think he's going to actually make the hold pretty well here, and that might be a product of the fact that aLive did open up with the eco version of the 2 barracks, so they come a little bit later, and of course the creep has already spread, the spine crawler's already coming out, and pretty soon here, once that crawler comes up, this Marine pressure build is going to be deflected back home.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But he does have enough lings here, I believe, to crush this with enough force. And he's hiding the lings right now. NesTea doing a great job hiding the lings in the back. I don't think aLive is aware of how many there are. NesTea could get a full surround here on all the Marines. They're hardly going to do any damage, and that's certainly not the way aLive wanted this to go.
Yeah, aLive is going to be trying to micro away from these Zerglings, but the Zerglings doing so much damage, able to kill off almost all the Marines, and aLive is in a lot of trouble here in the second game of this set, taking a pretty big loss with that Marine pressure build.
Yeah, I think aLive is just going to fall back here, drop another Rax, seal off his natural, and then take it from there. We already have the double gas going up. The command center is already on the way, so follow-up for aLive, looking to be that of a macro turnaround, but he hasn't finished off the wall with a Rax yet. It looks like NesTea might be able to get in there, but no, doesn't have enough Zerglings to do the damage that he was looking to do.
Yeah, I'm surprised NesTea didn't try to poke up there, but there was plenty of Marines, and he didn't want to take the risk. Ooh. Some of those Marines were hiding, and there is a macro command center coming up from aLive, so he is going to try to take the high road here and try to out-macro one of the best macro Zergs in the world, NesTea.
Yeah, I like this move by aLive. You know, he opened up with that 2 racks pressure, didn't work out for him. He's totally switching things up and going down a different avenue now, switching it up to macro, and he's going to, I guess you could say, macro cheese in that way. He's really just going to try and run away with the macro, and he still doesn't have a full wall here. Now, if NesTea reads this and goes for some type of an eco Baneling bust, I feel like aLive could be in a lot of trouble.
Let's not forget also that even if aLive decides to wall that off, that can only be walled off with the supply depot the way he's designed the front door so far. Actually, no, he could make another barracks there and seal it off. So if he puts 3 barracks there, the Baneling bust would be very hard-pressed trying to bust through something like that. It takes something like 15+ to kill barracks, and I think aLive will be pretty safe to something like that. But NesTea does have a Baneling nest coming up right now,
yes,
and we'll see which route he goes with.
He does have that Baneling nest on the way, but you do want to get a Baneling nest around this time anyway, just for defensive purposes. aLive could be following this up with a mass Marine all-in. You never know what the follow-up to that initial 2 racks is going to be. And also, you know, NesTea's kind of playing in the dark right now.
There are 20 Zerglings on the way, guys. That's quite a bit of Zerglings right now, and you usually don't expect this many, 22.
This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. NesTea could be making a brilliant read here. He might be going for that eco Baneling bust, and that's the one thing that could just destroy aLive's build here.
And you know what? aLive didn't seal that final portion of his wall off with another barracks. He instead decided to place a bunker, which has not fully sealed it off. And of course, if Banelings decided to run up there, it's pretty much a lot easier to attack a bunker than it is a barracks. So we are probably going to see some serious aggression here from NesTea very soon. He did get us around here on these Marines, but he has to flee as the Marine pack is just too strong. But really, here comes the real threat. This amount of Zerglings running across the map.
There's only one bunker, HD. There's only one bunker right now. The wall might go up just in the nick of time, and there we go. Supply depot goes down next to the bunker. NesTea is not going to be able to get in at this point. Is he going to go for the Baneling bust? We do have so many additional lings being produced. NesTea is essentially all in at this point, guys. This is going to be the crux of this game. Look how many Banelings we have morphing right now. 34 Banelings in production right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? aLive is going for a Banshee with Cloak right here. And yeah, Banshee can hit Zerglings and Banelings all day long, but when you have this many Banelings, man, it's just going to take forever.
Oh, no. He's sending the Banshee out. It's not going to be at the natural. He's sending the Banshee over to NesTea's base.
Here come the Banelings. They're going to crash right through the barracks. All the splash damage killing everything in its path. And the Banelings here trying to find the right target. There are more bunkers back here where aLive can hold his ground. And it looks like he's doing a decent job here. He hasn't lost too many SCVs yet, and he has been able to clean up the Banelings. But now here comes the Zerglings.
Oh, my goodness. What a potential hold here from aLive. He hasn't done it yet. More Zerglings are streaming in. aLive's tournament life is on the wire right now. He needs to bring that Banshee back. I don't know where it is right now. It's over at the 3rd. The Banshee not doing any damage right now. aLive trying to hold this off with a single Hellion. There's the second Banshee popping out of the starport right now. aLive actually turning this around could be in a great situation right now. He might actually take the win here.
Well, he still has a lot of Zerglings he has to deal with at the front door. Has to seal off this main first. There are Banelings being morphed right next to his natural command center as well. I still think aLive is in a very sticky situation, Pain User. That Banshee is doing some pretty good damage, though. It's definitely trying to equalize things out right now. NesTea doesn't even look like he's focused on defending that Banshee. He just wants to end it right here, right now. And here comes those Banelings running into the main.
Look at the Hellion micro from aLive. Both Hellions do go down, though. All that remains is a ton of Banelings working their way into the mineral line.
There's more SCVs trying to hide back here. Those Banelings are trained. They know exactly what they need to go for, and more SCVs are going down. I really think that aLive is in a lot of trouble now, man.
Yeah, losing all those SCVs essentially sealed the deal right there. There are spores up in the main of NesTea. NesTea will be able to deflect those Banshees without taking any losses at the main, and aLive was just unable to hold. Now, things could have gone very differently there if aLive had kept that second Banshee back at his base for defensive purposes. I was very surprised to see aLive send the second Banshee to NesTea's base in an attempt to kill him, as opposed to saving himself and allowing the Banshee that was already doing tons of damage at the natural, continue to do what it was doing.
Well, these two Banshees are just kind of hovering over the natural right now, trying to pick off whatever workers they can. Of course, if you look at the units tab right now, the Zerg player, NesTea, has 31 workers. aLive is at 9 SCVs. He's just struggling to survive here. Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Keep in mind, though, he does have 3 orbitals right now, and he just dropped several mules. We do have 5 mules on the field. He's going to be able to produce SCVs continuously out of 3 command centers. And guys, we could be at a game reset here. Both players doing tons of damage to one another, but they might just come out of this okay and potentially on even footing.
It really matters. It really depends on how much damage that Banshee can do over at the Zerg natural. It's just kind of bobbing in and out right now. If we can see it on the mini-map, trying to get more damage. Zerglings are coming into the main once again. They're killing off more SCVs. And right now, SCVs are a premium commodity, man. Yeah. You can't be letting them go like this.
No, you absolutely can't. And I think aLive is making very, very major errors in sending those Banshees out for offensive purposes as opposed to just keeping one Banshee back at base to deal with these Ling run-bys and these Banelings.
Well, he does actually have one that just popped out.
Now he does.
And that's actually going to be able to ward away the force, and he's actually using these 3 Banshees to try to take down this layer. The layer has sustained some damage, but nothing too critical as the Spore Crawlers are trying to get in range and deflect the Banshees, and it looks like they'll be able to do that. Wow, this is pretty interesting game. aLive still has a lot of workers that he's got to rebuild, though, and yeah, you're right. He has 3 orbitals. That's going to help him get those mules and SCVs back online at a very quick rate.
Oh, and aLive has just the right amount of units here to hold the next Ling run by 2 Hellions and a Banshee at this point, so aLive has adapted here. He knows NesTea is continuing with these run-bys, and here come 5 Banshees making their way, I think, to the main to finish off that low Spore Crawler. No, they're actually going to go for the natural.
Oh, wow, and 5 Banshees do so much damage to Queens. I don't even care if you have transfused energy. It's going to be very hard to keep them alive. One more Queen has gone down. A second Queen could drop as well at will, and every Queen that drops, that's substantial. You lose not only your anti-air, but your ability to inject larva and, of course, spread creep.
You know, actually, I think aLive just took a tremendous hit right there. He just lost so many Banshees, trading them only for a few Queens. The Queens right now for NesTea are totally expendable. The Banshees are not. He doesn't have any remaining Banshees, and it looks like these Speedlings might be able to get us around on the last 4 Hellions.
Oh, wow.
aLive is literally on his last leg here. Can he hold on?
Yeah, well, losing those Banshees there, I didn't catch that, but that is pretty terrible for him. Yeah, and he's no longer got the ability to be offensive. He has to just play defensive now. He's struggling to keep his SCV count up, trying to use them to fight. In fact, hasn't even been able to wall off his main or his natural at any point in this game. Just going to stick with the buildings he's got because it would take too much of an effort to lift it off, rebuild the add-ons that he's currently got going. Now, he is bringing a medevac across the map, though, and we'll see what kind of offensive strike he can do.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that aLive really could have and should have won this game right there. But NesTea's decision-making, we talked about this before the set. He's making all the right choices in a very hectic game. It couldn't get any more hectic than this. Both players are scrambling. You're making decisions as fast as you possibly can. And from what I've seen, NesTea is making the better decisions.
Here comes those Hellions, though, dropping on that little pad outside the main, and they're going to get inside the main and try to do some damage here. Some drones are going to get roasted up, but it looks like with the Queens already there, the drone casualties here should be pretty minimal, and NesTea will be able to get out of there with most of his drones intact.
I think NesTea has the right idea here, continuing to attack the mineral line of aLive. He's just been choking him out.
Those SCVs could go down. The Banelings are going to try to hit that mark, but the Banelings are just not fast enough. SCVs are pretty quick, mind you, and it looks like aLive should be able to keep his SCVs alive. Very nice micro right there, just running the labyrinth around his base and keeping his workers alive.
This is such an interesting game. Here comes the muta-switch from NesTea.
Beautiful,
aLive
I love it.
With no Marines, with no Marine production capability, really, just finishing those 3
trying to get a
Raxes
missile
right
turret
now.
up right now as well. I think the missile turret is not going to be able to get up in time, Pain User. He's trying to surround it right now, but it gets picked off by the mutalisk, and it looks like aLive has to GG. NesTea takes the first set. Wonderfully done, masterfully done by him, and congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. What a game from NesTea right there. And